is really snappy, so we look forward to that coming up. Oh yeah. Anyway, back to Robotech again, because I know that's what you really guys really want to hear about. So this is occurring during the Sentinels era. Here's some of the pre-production work we did with some of the characters. And so for those of you who are wondering, hey, wait, isn't Roland Emerson dead? Well, this occurs during the Sentinels era. So for those of you who are continuity hair splitters, here's some other cool character designs we got here. And here's some of the previs that we're doing. Was done. Now, for those of you who remember how the SDF-1 looked in Robotech Shadow Chronicles, you're like, hey, wait, that's the old Sentinels-looking SDF-1, SDF-3, you know. So we've, this is definitely a throwback. And here we have the pre-production design for the Robotech Academy. And so Carl's concept was if a lot of the senior officers were going to go into deep space for this Robotech expedition, and of course this is going to be all military senior officers, and they can't take all their civilian families with them. You know, what happens to all these kids? And so the concept here was, you know, the best and the brightest of the next generation of the Robotech officers are going to the Robotech Academy. And so here's some really cool CG work that was done on the Academy design. And so it's actually in orbit around Mars, which kind of ties into the series where you find out later on from the new generation, everything is marked Mars base when you see the Expeditionary Force coming back to Earth. So this starts to tie some of the backstory in between stories together. And here's a nice view of the Academy. And so that's the new series concept, Robotech Academy. So here's some really cool design. Now, if you want to find out more about this, just go to robotechacademy.com, and we have a lot online where you can learn about the work that's being that's going into it. And so, for those of you who are,
sorry.
All right.
Good ringtone.
Yeah. Oh, you get a free pass because it was the right ringtone. So,
good timing.
Any of, you know, all your Robotech nerds who remember what Phantoma and Tyrol are, you're gonna definitely recognize that the locations, the locales, the storylines really are meant to intertwine with the Sentinel storyline. And yes, we even bring back some characters. You know, Zor. Which version of Zor? Who knows? You know, of course, he's like. If you're a Dune fan, you'll know that Zor is a little bit like the Duncan Idaho of the Robotech universe. Or if you're a South Park fan, he's the Kenny of the Robotech universe. And yes, more mecha designs. So it's very cool. Now, we did put this on Kickstarter, and it did raise a lot of money. We were heading towards 200,000. But the thing is, we really wanted to go out big. Like some fans thought, you know, how come you canceled your Kickstarter when you were already raising this much? Why not just adjust your Kickstarter amount and be happy with 200? And we were like, no, we want to do it all or nothing. We just don't want to create a really nice trailer for a couple $100,000. If we're going to do it, we want to knock it out of the park. We want to create a good series, a self-contained story, not something that gets half-finished, kind of like the way what happened to the Sentinels. So we're actually, even though Kickstarter was not going to be the way for us to do it, we're actually still working on this. We're actually working with, we're actually speaking with really cool high-tech development companies on getting the Robotech Academy concept done. And so, yeah. So we're really happy about the work we've done. Oh, so here, let me give you a little clip where Greg Snarov, who is one of the lead writers on Robotech, talks about the concept. You can see some of the more clips of the folks involved with the original series talking about how they want to get Academy back off the ground. So, and now let's see. Oh yeah, and here's a nice view of the Academy. So one of the interesting things about the design of the Robotech Academy is, even though it's very, very large, it is capable of a spacefold maneuver. So that's a really nice shot done for us by the CG team. And so. Thank you very much, but before we conclude, I know one thing that, you know, the big white elephant in the room that everybody asks, what about the live action film? Have any of you heard about Robotech live action film work being done. This was being kicked around, Hollywood for quite a while. Everybody's like, what a no-brainer. Why not have a really smashing big budget film done? And the thing is, we want to get it done, but we're not in a hurry just to shove a movie out the door, because we don't want it to be Russian, we don't want it to be a bad film. And lately we just had, things have kicked up a notch, where we had a great development team make a great pitch on a concept, and we've got great studio interest, great interest from established action movie directors. And so we've got 300 guys working on it. Now you're thinking, 300 guys working on it. No, we've got 300 guys working on it. So we have the development team responsible for the film 300 working on Robotech right now. And so the live action film is being produced by Gianni Nonari and Mark Canton, who were the producers of the 300 films. And it's being written by Michael Gordon, writer of 300. And for those of you who like to go through IMDb, Michael Gordon also co-wrote one of the G.I. Joe films, and so, I'm looking at you guys right now.
Who's going to direct it?
We actually got really great guys expressing interest on it.
No one with the initials MB, okay?
Huh?
Nobody with the initials MB.
Okay, so we'll make sure that
No.
we'll make sure that Milton Bradley does not direct this film. Huh? I didn't. We're all being positive here. No bad mouthing at my right.
She's just trying to keep you at bay.
Yes.
So yes, we're really excited about this team working on it. We're really happy to have them. And one of the things that we do like about them is they're extremely responsive. They know about the sensitivity of the fans. They've worked with comic book properties, and they know that it's important to respect the fans. But at the same time, because it is live action film and a lot of money is going to be spent, they know that it's going to be necessary to kick everything up a notch. And so that they're working hard on this right now. Expect more news over the course of the year. So now we got, how much time do we have? Okay, so we got a few minutes left for questions. And we've also got some nice giveaways.
So after you ask a question, you can come up here and get one of these giveaways here. We got several toys, books, calendars, and DVDs and CDs. So go ahead.
So, can you speak for a minute about when I think of the Academy, I think instantly of Ender's Game, and Harrison Ford. They did a great movie about that. Could there be an additional movie idea with the Academy with a young cast in like the YA kind of demographic? Because that would be amazing.
Okay, that is actually one of the concepts of the Academy. Is I know we don't want to sound like a bunch of suits going, yeah, we're thinking of demographics, we have to hit the 6 to 11 market, because that's when they buy toys before they discover girls and stop buying toys and they start paying attention to going out on dates.
Exactly.
Right. So one of the things that we have with Robotech, because it's such an older series, is we have age inflation. Rick Hunter used to be a teenager, but now he's like the admiral of the Robotech Expeditionary Force, who's now an older middle-aged gentleman. So how do we introduce new, younger characters? And of course, Academy is perfect. Go back to the roots where we get the younger teenage kids involved into action. And so definitely. And that's what the storyline is going to be like. I don't know if it's going to be a live-action film, because obviously everybody's thinking, well, let's just start with the origin of the original continuity for the first live-action film. But for this, great TV show ideas, serials, so forth. So, yeah, definitely.
What about, you didn't mention video games or the continuation of the comics?
The video game license has opened up. We've actually had a lot of licenses that were kind of languishing with old licensees for a long time. Opened up. We've already got a bunch of companies interested in Robotech with Interactive. We know now the marketplace is very different than where it used to be. Before it used to be ruled by Xbox, PlayStation, duopoly, but now everything has gone cloud, online, portable devices, and this is something we're all looking at with the new prospective licensees that are approaching us for interactive. Yes? Oh,
So are you going into, taking the RPGs into video games, or, you know what I mean?
right. You know, we're not sure how we're going to do that exactly. We have a lot of planning going on. I know
So
that.
is it out there? Is it the thought out there?
The thought is out there. I mean, some of the ideas are, how do we get the guys who have our traditional RPG games, like how do people keep track? Are they going to have a way to keep inventory on it, on your iPads? So the guys at Palladium are well aware of this, how to get this into, the new age of, the millennial kids, wanting to store all this data on their portable devices. And at the same time, could there be, I think you'll have more information about this as we sign new interactive licenses, yeah.
Enterprise? Guys?
What is the rarest piece of memorabilia that you guys have, like a toy?
The rarest piece of memorabilia that we have is a Min-May action figure. Only one was produced, and as far as I know, the gentleman who got a hold of it sent it to us. So we actually have that in storage at Harmony Gold.
I don't even remember this.
The reason is, when it got sent in, it actually came in a plexiglass case that had some rating service on the outside of it, saying if you open up this plexiglass case, the rating is no longer valid.
Yeah.
Wow. What is that? CB?
I don't know who did it.
CBC or something?
Yeah, it had some holographic logo, whatever, and a certificate on it.
CBC,
Yeah.
TNT, do not touch.
Do not touch. Or do not open, yeah, something like that.
For the RPG Wave 2 Kickstarter, you guys seen, they're redoing the renders, but nobody has seen anything of it yet. What's going on? Are they done? They're not done? 50% done?
They started production on it in China and everything. They are finalizing all the models and how they set up in their molds and everything. They're doing the production runs, and after that we'll be able to determine when they get shipped.
Yeah, we already approved all the CG models for a year ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all the approvals for the designs are done. So it's just the manufacturing now.
So this is something that Palladium was dealing with, which is relatively new to them, because before they were accustomed to traditional print publishing, and so they were moving into manufacturing, and of course not just manufacturing anywhere, manufacturing overseas and getting it shipped to the US. And the other issue was if they only funded for $70,000 for that starter kit, they probably would have been able to stick to their original schedule. But because it was an order of magnitude greater and they had all these stretch goals, I mean, it was at the point where towards the very end when they were past $1 million, they were just, trying to figure out, well, if people just keep giving us money, what other stretch goal are we going to offer the fans? So, I mean, they had so many stretch goals at the end, that's why it's taking them so long. Their project went from this big to this big. So, it's understandable, but the nice thing is, unlike a lot of Kickstarters where you hear about a ton of money going there, somebody buys a speedboat and disappears, they are shipping product to all the fans. So that's, we're still very happy about that in spite of, production issues they dealt with. Yeah.
I was a fan of the cartoon as a kid, but I kind of went away from it as I got older, but I've had an interest in coming back into Robotech. But with all the different types of media they have, and where should I start? Where should I begin again?
I would just say the home video disc set is the best way to get it. It's just all nice in one big box. And I've actually seen where Amazon and Walmart will have the occasional blowout sale where they'll sell it for half of its original price. Like it goes for about, what, $89.95? So half of that, you'll see it for less than $50.
I had a friend pick it up for $30 at Walmart.
Yeah, Black Friday type sales.
How about Netflix? Ever thought about
It
that?
comes and goes on Netflix. You know how stuff comes and
Yeah,
goes.
I've been
So I
watching
remember was one of the things that was cycling through Netflix. But right now, I don't think it's there right now at this moment.
If not Netflix, would it be on Crunchyroll at the moment?
I don't know if it was on Crunchyroll. I know it was on Hulu. It was on the Hulu cycle at one
Hulu
point.
cycle,
Yeah.
okay.
But it's still digitally available on Amazon and iTunes.
Oh yeah. So you can get it on Amazon and iTunes, but I think on those systems it's a la carte.
Okay.
Games.
Yes.
Battlecry. Recently, I played GTA 5 on what do you call it? PS3. The PS4 they upgraded the game. Is there a chance for Battlecry to be upgraded and get better for better play for the newer platforms?
You know, it's definitely possible. Like something like that to port it onto like PlayStation Network, make it a cloud-based game. We do still keep in touch with some of the engineers who worked on it way back when. It's just a matter of when. Right now, until we sign a new publisher who's ready to cross that bridge, you know, I can't tell you exactly when that's going to happen.
You know the storylines, how like, let's say Marvel and DC, they'll have different universes, like same character, and then suddenly they'll go into this new storyline.
Yeah.
But then Robotech's linear, right?
Right.
Is that, you know, gonna happen, where it's gonna stem off of the linear?
You know,
line,
it's
everybody's like-
it's going to be inevitable because they had what Superman go. How many
Right.
issues did they go? Like 800 issues, 900 issues, and then when they did the new DC52, of course they had to reset the universe for the DC cinematic universe, and Marvel did that too. You know, they had. I mean, the cinematic universe looks more like Marvel Ultimates than it does like the classic Marvel universe, which is now disappearing anyway. So it always happens when the universe gets very, very old, it goes through a generation of fans and the universe resets. Like, they did that with Iron Man, when would it make sense for Tony Stark to be held hostage by the Viet Cong? You know, maybe it made sense when Iron Man was launched in the 60s, but now, not so much. They have him based in Afghanistan instead for today's audience. And likewise, when you see Robotech in live action, you know, the F-14 has been out of service for a good part of the last decade, and you know, it would make sense that whatever transforming fighter we've got next is going to look like a stealth fighter. Yeah, so you know, it's that always happens to all universes. Yes, sir.
Is there a consideration for making a remastered edition to the original series? Like, I have the old DVD set, but
Did you buy it in 2001?
I believe so.
Okay, we did remaster it.
Okay.
And so the big box set that's there is remastered, and there's also some people who actually complained that the videos that came out in the early 2000s didn't resemble what they heard on the air. Because when they first heard it, it sounded slightly different than the reruns. You're smiling. Did you notice this? Okay, so we have the first run episode actually on that box set. And the thing is, none of the TV stations saved these original broadcast tapes. And so it's one of those things that just kind of disappeared. And so we've actually had to rebuild it Doctor Who style from private collections. Yeah. So very much thanks to Tony Victorino, Steve Kim, and so forth, you know, for submitting their sets to help make that happen. Yes?
No Blu-ray conversion yet?
Oh yeah. You know what? Finally, the prices come down to the point we're looking at the HD. I don't know when Blu-ray is going to happen, but you know, I think it's going to be yeah. That's where the business is going. You know, you see DVD on the way out.
It's 5.
Oh, are we at 5?
Yeah.
Is the next group here trying to bust their way in? Okay, then we better be polite to them. All right. So thank you very much. You guys were awesome.